The next morning began with the shrill sound of whistles slicing through the air. We stood in perfect lines, dozens of us, identical in red uniforms and black masks. My breath echoed inside the mask, loud, mechanical, trapped. A supervisor with a square symbol on his face walked past us, his boots clicking against the concrete. "Remember your duty," he said. "You maintain order. You do not think, you do not feel, you do not question." I tried not to, but I couldn't stop my hands from trembling. My first post was at the red light, green light game. I stood at the perimeter, rifle in hand, staring at the crowd of players lined up in the field. Their green tracksuits looked strange under the artificial sky, like they were part of a different world. "They think it's a real game," one of the triangle guards whispered beside me. "First-timers always do." I said nothing. Then the doll's voice echoed, "Green light." The crowd began to move. Red light. A few players didn't stop in time. The doll's eyes flashed red. Gunfire erupted. Bodies dropped. Screams tore through the air. I froze. My finger hovered over the trigger, but I didn't pull it. Others did. The smell of gunpowder and blood mixed with the dust in my throat. When it was over, 100 players lay still. The rest stood shaking, afraid to breathe. My legs felt heavy, as if the ground itself didn't want me to move. My next assignment was during the honeycomb game. I was told to patrol the edge and eliminate rule breakers. I watched as players carved shapes from brittle sugar. When one cracked his piece, he screamed and begged for another chance. "Eliminate player 069, the voice ordered through my earpiece. My finger hesitated on the trigger. Just half a second, then I fired. He fell instantly. The silence afterward was louder than the gunshot. That night, I couldn't stop shaking. I told myself it wasn't murder, it was procedure. But I couldn't forget the look in his eyes right before I pulled the trigger. A week later, during a late patrol, I noticed a door slightly open at the end of an unmarked corridor. Curiosity got the better of me. I slipped inside. The room was dimly lit, lined with shelves stacked with black ledgers and dusty folders. Each one had numbers, player numbers. I pulled one at random. Photos, financial data, background records, everything about them was catalogued. Then I saw one file that made my breath stop. 067, Gandonas. I froze. I knew that name. He'd been the kid from my old neighborhood. Quiet, resourceful, always helping his grandmother sell vegetables at the market. Seeing his name there, his face stamped with a number, made me feel sick. Before I could look deeper, the door slammed shut behind me. "You shouldn't be here." It was guard 72. "You'll get both of us killed," he hissed. I knew him," I stammered. 067, Gandonas." "Stop," 72 interrupted. "They watch everything. You want to die? Keep talking?" I clenched my fists. "They're not just numbers. They're people. So are we," he said. "And that's exactly why we can't afford to remember that." He left without another word. I stood there for a long time, surrounded by the files, feeling like the air itself was pressing down on me. That night, I couldn't sleep. The mask on the table beside my bed stared back at me like an accusation. I'd taken this job to survive, to provide for my daughter, but I was starting to realize that survival here came at the cost of everything human inside me.